All right. Hey, everybody. Good evening. My name is Allison Caldwell, and welcome to our Monday call. I just wanted to kind of go over a few things that we're kind of wrapping up with October, some stuff that's going on, what we're kind of starting off into November, and kind of some tips and just some thoughts on working your business through the holidays. So as far as today and tomorrow for the Plexus side of things for the specials, they've got dollar membership for VIPs, and they get $10 off of their initial $100 order. That's through tomorrow. And then the product of the season is Mega X, and that continues all the way through the end of December. So that's still going to carry over after this. If you enroll 1 in October, you're getting the 250 perks credits. And then if you enroll 3, you earn the ceramic Plexus travel mug, which looks super cute. They always give away fun things, stuff that I go, gosh, I don't know, do I really need that? And then I get whatever they give, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. So they're fun prizes. They love to spoil us for that. We are also still working through earning the Punta Cana trip for Leaders Retreat in February. And don't forget that newbies, like people who have just started, they get double credits their first calendar month. So if they are starting, October 30th, they have 2 days to get double credits. If they start November 1st, they get double credits all the way through November for Leaders Retreat. So that's kind of exciting for new people, as we're kind of getting people starting their journey, like toward the end of October, we can encourage them to start sharing and, get going in November and get some of those extra double credits and earn their way to Punta Cana with us. So we're going to be doing all that, utilizing our challenges. I know you've seen them posting a little bit around for the Sit, Shake, and Step, the 14-day challenge. We've got that coming November 8th through the 21st. They're going to be doing 1 slim a day, 1 lean shake a day, and then covering 50 miles in the 14 days. So you can track that however you want. They've got daily check-ins, they've got prizes and cash. And I mean, it seems like there's tons of jewels in on this. So there's going to be a lot of prizes. That's what it looked like. You have to have 100 PV as a current VIP or ambassador. You have to have 100 PV in October to be eligible. And then if you are new, you have to get your 100 PV in by November 8th in order to be eligible there. So that's kind of what we've got going on. We'll have, Week of Pink. We'll have some other things going on over the holidays. So we always want you to have something to invite people to talk to them about, because that's kind of what we want to do overall, is just keep creating new conversations and new reasons to reach out and talk to them. So, and as we're getting into the mindset part of things, or the holiday part of things, I want to talk a little bit about mindset. Because I want you to check your thoughts on the subject of time over the holidays. So I think that's something I know I struggle with.
What do you want to watch?
Okay. Sorry, I know I struggle with, feeling like I'm so busy. What are you doing? I'm just so busy. And I think I said it when Sarah asked me earlier, because it's just like a habit. That's what we do, right? We're always talking about how busy we are. But a lot of times we have those negative thoughts of, well, I'm so busy, everybody else is so busy, well, they're not responding or whatever. And if you're buying into those negative thoughts, you're choosing to stay stuck in that position. So I feel like affirmations is a really good way to kind of help push past that. So find that negative thought and counter it with truth. I don't have enough time, or I'm overwhelmed. You're like, you know what? I get everything that I need to get accomplished finished every day. And we're going to talk about a good way to do that as far as setting your priorities in a minute. But if you're kind of staying stuck in that I don't have enough time, I'm overwhelmed thing, your brain is going to stay in that chaos mode instead of searching for a solution. It's just going to stay stuck in that. And it makes it really hard to move forward. So I heard a good quote on problem solving with time stuff. Time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. And once you've lost it, you never get it back. And that was a quote by Harvey Mackay. So I just want to talk about being like really purposeful with our time. because that's just going to help you level up in every area of your life, but especially with your business as well. A lot of times the problem isn't the time itself, it's the value. Because if you knew how valuable you were, you wouldn't be wasting time, right? So you're valuable and your time is valuable. And if you're legitimately busy, like you really have to kind of look for those pockets of time, right? You have to find where you're losing time, whether it's scrolling here or playing a game, or, you were on Amazon doing shopping or whatever. Like, find those pockets where you're losing time, and then ask yourself, if I was my most productive self, what would my days look like? And figure out where you can take these pockets of time and schedule in things that need to be done, whether it's personal stuff or work stuff. Christina Williams is a great time blocking guru. You can look for some of her stuff. I have some non-negotiables that I get done every day, and then my day kind of flows depending on what's going on, because we've got a lot, and it's hard for me to time block and set it exactly the right times, because I feel like when I try it, things just happen outside of my control, and then I feel frustrated. So for me, time blocking doesn't work well. Other people, it works amazing. So find something that works for you and stick with it long enough to know whether that's your jam or not. So a couple other tips were like no cleaning during work time. So if you're doing your IPAs and stuff, don't like look over and be like, wow, my desk is messy, I think I'm just going to clean this up. That's distracting. If you're doing things like meal prepping ahead of time, doing your shopping ahead of time, all of that stuff is going to save you time in the long run. And then you're able to focus on your family and your team and during the holidays and serve them well. Because let's face it, as far as business goes, during the holidays, our people need extra support and encouragement really bad, right? They're off their schedule. They're eating all these rich foods. They're going to holiday parties. They're like totally throwing caution to the wind. They're stressed out. So if we're stressed out and struggling because we're not managing our time well, we're not going to be able to serve them in the way that we need to. So take care of yourself, figure out your scheduling and what works for you so that you can serve your people. And that's going to help you with retention as well. So maybe when you're working, keep a piece of paper next to you so you can brain dump when you start thinking of, oh, I should get this gift for so-and-so, and you're writing it down so that you're not stopping and scrolling Amazon or whatever it is while you're trying to do your IPAs. That gives you a spot to just brain dump and then focus on your work. Like I said, list of presents, things that you need to do, reach outs, all that stuff, so that you're not tempted to do those things during your IPA time. Because it's emotionally exhausting, right? When you've got a bunch of undone tasks looming over you. I've been the queen of that for so many years, and I'm not claiming that anymore. I'm done. So it makes a big difference to have all that stuff done earlier. So try to get your shopping done early if you can. That's not distracting you. And just figure out what your non-negotiables are. So for these last 60-ish days of the year, think of those most important things, like the things that you just absolutely have to get done no matter what. And that way you'll be at peace ahead of time with your long-term vision, what's best for your family, what's best for your business. So you're not making like quick decisions in the moment and then going, oh man, I really didn't have time for that. Oh, I wish I hadn't, or I needed to do that and I didn't get to it. We cause a lot of guilt and shame in our lives when we're not managing our time and ourselves well. So sometimes that means we have to lay a few things down. Maybe you're laying down, maybe you make cookies for everybody in the neighborhood, right? If you like to give little cookie gifts to all your neighbors. Maybe this is a year that you choose not to do all of that. Maybe you just make a batch or two with your kids. You spend a little bit of time, you still have the memory, but you're like, you know what? My other time is better spent doing your other non-negotiables. So that might be something that just isn't going to happen this year. And if you make that decision ahead of time, it makes it easier to stick with it. You don't have that decision fatigue. You're not stressed out, and you're not skipping IPAs because all of a sudden you're too busy. And then you also feel guilty and, you have that guilt and shame over not getting your IPAs done because you're baking cookies, and, it's just kind of a slippery slope. So finding those things ahead of time so that you can avoid that stress and be at peace with it makes a huge difference. So as far as Plexus, your non-negotiables would be like your IPA. So if you picture, and you guys have probably heard this analogy before, if you picture the big glass and you put in some bigger rocks, right? And it looks full, but then you pour in some pebbles and it still looks full, but the pebbles fit. And then you pour some sand in and then it's really full, but it all fits, right? And then if you start the other way and you fill the sand up, then you can't fit the pebbles and the rocks in. Well, those rocks are your non-negotiables. That's your IPA. That's your, specific family time. Those are your things that need to happen. And if you're starting with all the stress and the shopping and all the things, all the sand, then the other things aren't going to fit. So simplify and do those most important things first, like your reach outs and your follow-ups and things like that. Use that rally chat. If you're in there, it's a great way to keep your posting ideas and your stories simple. Maybe you love to make graphics, but maybe this isn't the time of year where you want to spend a whole lot of time making your own graphics. That's where you're using like the rally chat stuff to give you some quick go-to post ideas, story ideas, things like that, so that you're not spending extra time doing those things, but you can still be present. You want to be daily developing your leaders, checking in, following up, talking to people, and your personal development as well, because we pour out so much to others during the holiday. We're doing all the things during the holidays. So if we're not pouring into ourselves, it's even more likely that we're going to feel depleted and frustrated over the holidays than any other time of year. I mean, it's always important to pour back in because we do spend a lot of time serving others, especially in this business. Keep going with events. You're, reflecting on what's working, what's not working, connecting with your upline, like be in that communication. And the other big non-negotiable that I was thinking of was developing silvers. Like this has to happen, y'all. It's a good thing. People are out there, they're spending more money because they're going out and running and shopping and, oh my gosh, I've been so much debt for the holidays. Well, great. Let's help them with some fast cash and help them get that, back on the positive side, right? So maybe they put up a post, but we have to be careful how we're doing things like that. We want to be asking them for those posts, but we don't want to be, overkilling it basically. And if y'all are familiar with Brooke Hemingway, she talks about the frog system, right? So if you put a frog in a pot of boiling water, right, it's going to jump out and it's gone. If you put a frog in water at room temperature and then you slowly turn the heat up, the frog's just going to sit there. Not that we're going to cook anybody, but when we're developing silvers, we've got to gauge that interest and make sure that we're just turning up the heat as they're tolerating, like we're giving them new things as they're tolerating it and handling it. Maybe they're all in and they're like, hey, I'm ready. And they post and they're doing awesome and they're going to reach out to their friends. And then other people, maybe you're just going to ask them for a post when they have a victory in their health. Maybe you're going to say, hey, let's grab you an accountability partner. That's your next step. And you're just taking them one step at a time. So regardless of which way they're doing that, we can still cast a big vision for what's possible with this business and how it can change your life and how it can serve you, serve your family, all of those things. And then you can kind of see where they're at and still use that frog system to carry them along in a way that works for them. But that doesn't mean don't cast the vision, because this is truly life-changing. So we're asking for posts, we're, maybe asking them to host an event. But that's a stepping stone. That's not like the end all be all, because if you're telling a new person like, hey, we're going to have this event and you're going to go silver and it's going to be awesome. And then maybe they don't have anybody that shows up and they don't go silver. And then they're like, oh, well, that doesn't work. So if we're having an event, like this is to start some conversations. We're really excited about it. Okay, your next step is your next step. And so we just help them along the way so that we are giving them small tangible things that they can do to work towards silver, because silver is the goal, not an event, if that makes sense. So like I said, share that bold vision, but then turn the heat up at the temperature or at the rate that they can handle that change, right? Another thing that I was thinking of to ask, like if you're going to be making, let's say 25,000 a month within the next couple of years, right? Is it going to be worth setting those priorities and making those smart business decisions now? Like, is it going to be worth it if you set a few things aside this holiday so that you can focus on those non-negotiables? Is that going to be worth it for what your bigger long-term goals are? So obviously that means you have to stay connected to your why. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to know, what it is that's keeping you going in this business, whether it's like some of the diamonds that are funding an orphanage, or they're, doing all these other really cool things. Like, figure out what it is that you want to do and connect to that, and remind you, like, okay, this is going to be so worth it, because down the road, here's where I'm going to be. And here's what I can do with that when the time comes. So, any other things? I had a couple other notes on my phone. Sorry, I'm all over the place today, but I'm getting all the things done I need to get done. So I want you to remember too, that people do start a business during the holidays. A lot of people kind of tell that story in their head. And if you follow Bob Heilig, that it would be a red light story. Oh, people don't want to do this over the holidays. They're too busy. I started in October. So, and I went for it right away because I needed it, and I needed to get my product costs covered. But I mean, there are diamonds that started, I think, didn't Ellen Ford start the day after Thanksgiving or something? Wasn't she a Black Friday joiner? I think. Yeah. So, I mean, there are people that are excited about the business, and they'll still join over the holidays because they see the potential to make that money. And that's part of what we're casting the vision for. So don't tell yourself that story that they're not joining, because they are. There's lots of people that join over the holidays and start a business, but that means we have to keep posting. We have to keep reaching out. We've got to consistently be present on social media. We've got to be continuing those conversations, and remember that we're solving a problem for people. They're busy, they're broke, they're stressed out, they're eating too much sugar. Like, those are all problems that we can help them solve, right? So that's what we're focusing on over the holidays. And they need that extra cash. So you got to offer them the business. You got to help them, like I said, help them go silver. Keep that frog in mind, but help them go silver at their pace. And remember that if they're quiet and you're posting and you're reaching out and you're not hearing anything, instead of telling yourself, man, nobody wants to do this, this is, and getting that negative thought going, do what I was saying earlier, capture that thought, switch it around, create something different. And if you need help with that, reach out to your sponsor, because they will help you. And remember that people are busy. Like, they're just really busy right now. This is probably not the first thing on their mind. I mean, we work it as a business, so this is something that we think about more often than not, right? We're thinking about how we can help people with this business, and they're thinking about 67,000 other things they were trying to do during the day, and they completely forgot that you even sent them a message. So if you kind of think of it that way, then when you're sending them a follow-up, you can be like, hey, you know what? I know you're busy and you probably forgot that I sent the message, but I was just following up again because I didn't want you to miss out on the special for the end of this month. And, it can be as simple as that, but kind of give them that out and remind them, like, it's okay. It's okay if you're busy. I'm still here. And when you're doing those things and you're being really, really consistent, and you're keeping that conversation going, even if they don't join right now, they're going to be coming to you right after Christmas, because they're going to be ready for the New Year's and all of their, New Year resolution, health goals, and all that stuff. They're going to think of you when they think of that, because you've been a consistent presence. You've been posting, you've been reaching out, you've been doing all the things and having a conversation with them. And when they're ready, they're going to come to you. So it's really important to have those continual conversations, have that funnel going all the time. And like I said, if they don't join now, they will find you. So just remember that you're valuable, your time is valuable. So conduct yourself accordingly this holiday season and figure out the things that work for you. And that's what I've got. I'm excited that y'all hopped on, and I appreciate it. Does anybody have questions or comments or anything?
Thanks, Allison.
Absolutely.
I'm just definitely leaning into just doing the simple things daily.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I liked the non-negotiables, just, getting those few things. And if you get those done, then it's okay. Everything else can be the sand, right? All right. Anybody else?
I don't think so.